My name is Andy Cairns. I'm the guitar player and singer in a band called Therapy, and I'm from the north of Ireland, a place called County Antrim. Oh, really looking forward to tonight's show in Helsinki. We've been here for 4 days. We did a show in Jyväskylä, which was a town in 29 years we've never played. We did an amazing show at Tampere in the Olympia Theatre last night, which was incredible. Beautiful venue, beautiful backstage, amazing crowd. And then tonight the Virgin Oil Company in Helsinki is another venue we've never played, so we're really excited. Well, because we have been around for so long, we're very well aware that not everyone comes to hear the new album. A lot of people will come to hear all the old classics. So our set lasts about 1 hour 50 minutes, and we play 7 or 8 songs off the new album, and then the rest of it is mainly stuff off all our other albums, so like things that people know from the 90s and things like that. It's difficult because we will always, there are real hardcore Therapy fans that know every single song and every single B-side and every single exclusive track, and there will always be someone that will turn up and go, "You didn't play my favourite song," and we haven't got the time to do that. So what we tend to do is if we play a festival, we know that at a festival it's about the event, it's not about the band, so we pick what we think is going to work with the general crowd. So it'll be stuff that they might have heard on the radio or stuff that we think gets the crowd involved. At a show like tonight's in Helsinki, we know that there will be Therapy fans here that know everything we've done, but at the same time we also want to make sure we represent the new record we have out, because we'd like people to know about that. So that's why we play for 1 hour and 50 minutes. Similarly, if we sometimes have to do maybe a spot on, I don't know, a promotional live gig or something, we have to pick someone that represents us. But it is very difficult. I enjoy it because the fact is, as a musician, I know those songs inside out. I know them back to front, I know the lyrics so well that it means that I can concentrate on looking at the audience, concentrate on giving the best performance. Sometimes with newer songs, there's almost like, it's like doing your homework. So you're playing them and you're concentrating on making them sound as they should, so you can't really engage with the audience as much. So once a song has been in the set for like 5 or 6 years, then I enjoy it a lot more. I enjoy playing the new songs, don't get me wrong, but they involve more concentration. At the minute, I'm really enjoying playing a song called Callow, which was the first track released from that. And I like Record Like Beckett because it's got a very good groove. And I also like, there's a track out now called Kakistocracy, which Michael, the bass player, wrote the riff off, which I really like because it's just a very churning, hypnotic groove. Well, no, we're very restless creatively, and I think what's happened with the new record is we've arrived back at what we do best. We made quite a few albums where we tried different things. So there was electronic experimentation, listening to dub music and all this kind of stuff, which we enjoyed doing. The fans maybe tolerated, and then what we did was we started writing songs more like 90s stuff. But the idea with Cleave was to make a classic Therapy record as regards songwriting and risk, but to make it sound like it belonged to the 21st century. We didn't want it to sound like a retro record that could have come out in 1994. So Chris Sheldon, the producer who had worked on our 90s records, he said, "Okay, well, I'm not going to make this sound like a 90s record." He said, "I'll make it sound like you guys, but I'll bring it up to date." I think with musicians and rock musicians especially, they're a funny bunch, and I think they make things very hard on themselves. And it depends. To people on the outside, I make a living from being a musician. I get to tour the world, I get to meet a lot of people, and we're on our 15th album. But to some people objectively, they would look at that and say, but you were huge rock stars in 1994. Surely it must be awful not playing arenas anymore. And I think, well, what we did was, because we started as a punk band and it was 5 years before we broke, we always considered ourselves musicians. And we had a little bit in the 90s where we were kind of verging on mainstream, and that was nice. But you know, we're musicians, this is what we do, so we're comfortable doing it. And I think a lot of musicians, what they don't like is when they get into the position we were in and things go a bit wrong, they don't like not being a rock star anymore, and then that's why they don't do music. So I mean, I think for us to have been around nearly 30 years is because we're comfortable with what we do. You know, I turn up here today and go, Helsinki, this is amazing. I could turn up here today, well, a few years ago we played somewhere 5 times bigger than this. But what does that achieve? I'm a musician, I'm a working musician, and I'm very, very happy. I've achieved all the things that I'd like to do, and I think that's why we still do it. We enjoy turning up everywhere and playing for people all the time. No, it's easier now.
Really?
Yeah, well, honestly, because in the 90s, and this is the ironic paradox, when we were selling records by the millions, to go on tour, we spent so much money because we had 2 tour buses, we had 20 crew, we had catering, we stayed in top hotels, we flew first class. So you would come back in 1994, for example, we had an album called Trouble. We did 3 world tours, and we had top 10 albums, top 10 singles. We were on the cover of magazines all over the world, radio play, TV play. We didn't really make much money because it cost us an absolute fortune to do those 3 world tours and pay every single one of those crew members, pay our management's commission, our agent's commission. And at the end of the day, you know, yes, we were getting to tour the world and getting to play to a lot of people, but as regards having money in the bank, that didn't really come until a few years later. I would definitely have, before we made the Infernal Love album in 90, we went in, it was the only time in our lives we had pressure from a record company. Okay. It's the only time in our lives with pressure from a record company. Up until Trouble Gun, we were completely artistically in control. After that, because Trouble Gun was a success, people at the record company got involved. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, they were giving us a lot of money, but the thing was the timing. And Trouble Gun had only been out 7 months, and the record company were worried because in the UK at least, Britpop had taken over, so everyone was listening to Oasis and Blur, and the record company said, we need to release an album quickly, because otherwise people will forget about you guys, you're a rock band. So we came home in early December 94 from the 3rd world tour for Trouble Gun, and we had 2 days off, and then we were in a recording studio with no songs written, nothing. And that put so much pressure on the band, and what ended up happening was early 1996, one of our members, 5 left. We got 2 new guys in, and the band was never the same for the next few years. And if I could change one thing, what I would do was, whenever we were asked by the record company to go into that studio, I'd say, give us 6 months. That's the only thing I would change. Because I think we were exhausted, we didn't have anything to write about, all we'd see was tour buses and hotel rooms. And we were digging really deep to try and write songs. We were using a lot of alcohol and drugs to try and get through this period. But you know, then again, the upside of that was, you know, if I hadn't been through those awful years, we wouldn't have met Neil Cooper, the new drummer, who's been such an integral part of our renaissance. So, but that's the only thing I would change. I just think it wasn't fair on ourselves. It wasn't fair on the fans. It was just rushed. I wouldn't say pleased, I can live with it now. I used to really hate it for years because it did so much damage to the band. You know, when that record was released overnight, half of our fans, even more, went, this is terrible. I hate this band, and that it set us back. All the hard work we've done, it set us back so much. Now people come up to me and say it's their favourite album, and they love the songs on it. But because of the reason of the damage it had done, this was so long ago when there was no emails. We were getting letters from people saying, I used to love your band, I'm going to throw all your records in the trash, you've really let me down. So, you know, that was kind of hard to deal with, especially because we knew at the back of our minds that the record had been rushed. Well, do you know what? It's kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of when you're at school and you're chasing people that you quite like. And if you show them that you like them, they'll definitely not look anywhere near you. But the moment that you don't care, all of a sudden they're really interested in you. And that's what it's like now. I mean, this new album, we've got to the point now, 15 albums, we don't care. We just think, well, there's been so many cruel things said, and also so many nice things said, so let's just read it. But this has been brilliant, the reviews, and the most important thing is the fans' reaction, because they're the people that buy the thing. And it's been really positive, and I think that's what we look for now, is positivity. You know, what keeps this band going is now, although a lot of our lyrics are dark, our outlook on life is very positive, and this record is a really positive aura following it. Well, I've always, up until this record, I've tried to avoid being, I don't know, acutely political, because I just think growing up in Northern Ireland, so many people got involved. Now, we used to deal with the politics of the personal, and we used to think that everyone has to deal with troubles inside before they address the outside world. That was our aesthetic. But in this recent album, it's in the light of Brexit, which you've no doubt heard of. Everyone knows about this. And I'm an Irishman that lives in England, and I'm from the north of Ireland, so it's part of Britain. So I'm married to an English woman, and I've been living in the UK for a good part of 17 years. And after Brexit, I was at a dinner party, and I said, I think Brexit's a terrible idea. I think we should be looking for unity, not division. And an Englishman who was very well educated turned around and said to me, well, if you don't like it, you can always go home to Ireland. And so I went in to rehearsals a week later and told the guys, and they said, well, our bass player's got a Dutch wife. And he said, well, my wife is at work. And someone came up to him and said, you need to pack your suitcase because they'll be sending you home. And our guitar technician, his wife's from Poland. She works in London, and somebody said to her, jokingly in work, we'll be going home soon. And when we saw that happen, we just thought, what on earth's happening to the world? And we looked at what's happening with Brexit, what's happening with the far right in Italy and Austria, and what's happening with Donald Trump wanting to build a wall. So the concept of the album's division, and how the human race deals with it. So it's not only just political division, it's division of the self, you know, things like addiction and trying to tear yourself apart from your true being. Well, that's what it is. I mean, I would never ever try and be a spokesman for anybody, because I think everyone's entitled to their opinions. Some people, that's why we've been quite opaque and vague in the lyrics. We just want to say, this is what we're saying. Am I the only person saying this? We're not saying, don't do this and don't do that. Yeah, I think it's important for me. This band has always been important for me to make me a different person than I would have been if I hadn't taken this route. But I also don't think it's fair to ram my opinions down somebody's throat. Yeah, I love. I mean, one of my favourite things when I'm at home is putting on someone else's records and trying to play along with it. I think it's, as a musician, it's a good way of learning new ideas, and helps me with songwriting and chords. And I've been playing along with a lot of Buzzcocks records recently, because Pete Shelley from the Buzzcocks died, and he was a hero of mine when I was a kid. I'm trying to think what I'd like to cover. I mean, we do listen to a lot of stuff, and I quite like tackling something that's maybe a bit different, like an electronic record or a pop record. You know, maybe if we covered something by some pop artist, it might be better. I don't know what. No, there's always it's a rehearsal thing. So like, we did a cover of Diane with Husker Du, and I was playing that on guitar because I'm a huge Husker Du fan. And Fife and Michael said, what's that? And I said, what's Husker Du? So we played that. And then it ended up, we did a cover of it. Same with Joy Division. I mean, whenever we did Trouble Gun, we were warming up in the studio, and I started playing the bass line of Isolation on my guitar. And everyone went, that's a great riff. And I said, yeah, that's actually one of Joy Division's. And we ended up doing the song. The Misfits one was because in the band we're all big Misfits fans. I think when we played a gig in Belfast once, the support band Strontium Dog did a Misfits cover, and we joined them on stage to play it, and then we ended up putting it in our own set. Well, at the minute we will be touring Cleave until September 2019. We will also be doing, at the minute there's 8 festivals confirmed, but there'll be more coming in. And if you want to keep it, it's like therapy.co.uk, and it's always updated with new live dates. But the plan is to tour Cleave to September 2019, and then get ready for next year, because next year's our 30th anniversary. And we will be doing lots of shows around Europe to celebrate that, so we'll be playing a very long set spanning all our career. There'll be special things that we'll be doing. So what I'm going to do is we finish in September, that gives me until Christmas to write new material. So I think we'll be writing new material. The record company wants to record a live album, which might be done this year. And then hopefully in early 2020 there'll be a new Therapy studio album. So that's what it looks like. So tour Cleave to September, live album, the 30th anniversary, and then 2021, maybe new Therapy. Yeah, thank you very much for all your support over the years, no matter where you come from. Anyone that's been around the whole time, thanks for being on the journey. Anybody that's just got into us with Cleave, welcome aboard. But you know, we say this every night on stage, without you guys we would not exist, and you guys have kept us here for 29, nearly 30 years, so thank you.